Hello, we have Brian here and Jim D, and we have our rapid funnel tech support here, just in case at the end you stump me with any really cool questions, then we will be prepared. Now, how this works, it doesn't matter that it's actually week 8 because we every time we do this, it's always new information, and we know that there's going to be new people joining us each and every week, so we go through some of the basics at the end. We'll start with the training, then we'll move into a live work session and demo, and then open it up for Q&A at the end. So if you have questions, go ahead and just hold off until the end, and then I will be happy to answer them. Now, I do ask you to qualify your questions. This isn't the place for technical support ticket, question Q&A. It's more for, hey, does this work? And, can I do this? And I was thinking about doing this, or I used to do this. Is this possible with Advancement Navigator? That kind of fun stuff. So live stream is going. So let's go ahead and flip this now to me to share my screen and begin this. And if you can hear me loud and clear, go ahead and type a 1 in the chat box. Would appreciate that. We did a little test, but it's never a bad thing to double check to make sure AV is going. Okay, you should now see the presentation on the screen. Go ahead and type me a 1 again if you do see it. I'm going to flip it this way. Ooh, sorry to make you dizzy. All right, let's get started. Today, we're delving into a concept that could completely transform the way you approach your business. Exponentially better follow-up, and the importance of playing the long game. Now, I know you might be thinking, long game, but I want results like yesterday. Well, trust me, I get it. We all love quick wins. But here's the deal. Truly sustainable success in this industry, or really any industry for that matter, comes from having a long-term vision and a follow-up strategy that stands the test of time. Let's put this into perspective. Picture someone buying a traditional brick and mortar business, a franchise, for example. They sink hundreds of thousands of dollars into a storefront, inventory, equipment, and staff. Believe me, with that kind of financial commitment, they're not just thinking about the next week or two. They're strategizing on how to recoup their investment, scale their operations, and maintain profitability for years to come. In contrast, our model is incredibly low cost, sometimes practically zero overhead. That's amazing because it means anyone can join, but there's no heavy burden, no scary second mortgage required to get started. But the downside, with such a small investment, it's easy to treat this like a casual hobby, dabbling here and there without truly committing. And guess what happens then? Results tend to be as casual as the commitment. If you approach this like a lemonade stand that you just set up on a whim, you'll get lemonade stand results, some pocket change on a hot afternoon. If you treat it like a long-term business venture, you'll set yourself up for significant, enduring success. That's where the long game plan comes into play. We're talking about building something that still thrives, so when the novelty wears off and then the new business honeymoon period is over and others have moved on, it's still going to be there. And here's the good news. Your Advancement Navigator, I like to call it AdvNav, the app is designed to help you embrace that long view and gives you the tools to follow up with prospects, customers, team members in a way that's both systematic and sustainable. Your leadership has invested a lot of thought and effort into creating features that help you keep track of interactions, schedule reminders, monitor engagements, and maintain those critical follow-ups over time. I want you to think about it like planting an orchard instead of a single fruit tree. With an orchard, you plant multiple seeds, you water them consistently, you tend to the soil, and eventually you have a continuous harvest year after year. The AdvNav app is like in your irrigation system for that orchard. It ensures that every seed, every contact, every conversation gets the nurturing and follow-up it needs. So you're not leaving future income sitting down dormant in your phone's contact list. We're going to break it down. The elements of exponentially better follow-up. Exponentially better doesn't mean tiny improvements. It means creating a system where your follow-up efforts compound. Every well-executed follow-up not only moves a potential customer closer to decision, but also builds your own confidence and skill set. Over time, the difference between haphazard, random stabs in the dark and a structured long-term approach is like night and day. Remember, people come into this business at different times in their lives. Maybe right now isn't the perfect moment for a prospect to join your team or buy your product. But guess what? Life changes. 2 months from now, when they're ready, will they remember you? Will you have stayed on their radar gently and professionally, or will they have slipped through the cracks? The AdvNav app helps ensure that they never truly slip away without you knowing what happened. It gives you the ability to re-engage with them when the timing is right. And as we go through today's training, keep an open mind and think, how can I use these strategies to build something that lasts? Think of your business not as a sprint, but as a marathon. The person who can pace themselves and track their progress, keep an eye on the finish line, even when it feels far away, is the one who will cross it smiling, confident, and holding a trophy of sustainability, income, and influence. So buckle up, get your AdvNav app handy, and let's dig into how to play the long game with exponential better follow-up. This is your chance to foolproof your business and ensure that your efforts today pay dividends, not just tomorrow, but for months and years to come. So let's jump in. Let's face it, navigating the world of prospecting can feel like trying to catch fireflies in the dark. Just when you think you've got someone who's the perfect fit, they flutter out of reach, leaving you wondering, what happened? One of the biggest misconceptions out there is that if someone doesn't say yes right away, they're not interested. But here's the reality. Most prospects are actually the right person. It's just not the right time. Think about it. When you talk to someone about your product at Cost Metals, Gold and Silver, or our business opportunity here, you're stepping into their lives mid-story. You don't know what they're dealing with. Maybe they just lost their loved family pet, or they're going through a tough breakup, or their job just hit a peak of stress that feels like climbing Mount Everest. They could be in the midst of moving to a new city, perhaps caring for an ill parent. The point is, everyone's got something going on behind the scenes. They might love what you're offering, but they simply can't focus on it today or even next week, maybe not even till next month. You might be tempted to write them off as a no and move on. But here's a question for you. How many times did you need to see, hear, and experience something before you decided to jump on into the business yourself? Odds are it wasn't a one and done scenario. Maybe you attended a couple of webinars, watched a video, read an article, had a heart-to-heart conversation with someone you trusted, then finally said, I'm in. If you needed multiple exposures, why wouldn't your prospects as well? So this leads us to the next big difficulty. Most people don't have a strategy to build a database and stay in touch over time. Without a system, your follow-up process is a mess. Sticky notes on the fridge, unread emails in your inbox, maybe a scribbled list of names in a notebook. You can never find it when you need it. It's not inefficient. It's not just inefficient. It's a stressful situation. Imagine the scenario. If you meet one new person a day for a whole year, that's 365 new contacts. Great. But how do you keep track of all of them without losing your mind? So this is where your AdvNav app comes in like a friendly superhero with a clipboard and a game plan. Your app can help you maintain an organized, trackable database of all of those contacts. It's your digital memory bank, freeing up your mind to focus on connecting authentically rather than worrying about who you need to follow up with next. And then there's the hot prospect conundrum. If you're waiting for super engaged, ready to buy customers to just pop into your DMs, you'll be waiting a long time. Hot prospects don't raise their hand and call you, at least not very often. Why? Because we live in a world of constant distractions. People mean to get back to you. They plan to respond. They fully intend to buy that product they liked. But then life happens. The dog barks. The kids need dinner. The boss sends an urgent email. Before they know it, your message is buried under a mountain of notifications. So how do you know who's really interested? In the old days, you didn't. You'd send a link, cross your fingers, and hope for the best. Following up like chasing a ghost. You might send a friendly, hey, did you get a chance to watch that video message? And get radio silence, leaving you to guess, did they watch it and hate it? Did they even open it? Did they start it and get distracted by a cute cat video? The truth could be anything. With the AdvNav app, you get insights into who's engaging with your material. Someone watched the video you sent, the app is going to let you know. They click through a link, bingo, you have a sign up, and they're at least you have a sign that they're somewhat interested, even if they haven't replied yet. This shifts your perspective from guesswork to informal decision making. Instead of nagging everyone, you can focus on the ones that have shown you a glimmer of interest, gently nurturing that relationship until the timing is right. In essence, these difficulties, timing, building a database, and identifying hot prospects aren't insurmountable barriers. They're just part of the human experience. By understanding that good people often have bad timing, by having a system that keeps your follow-up process smooth, and by leveraging technology to identify who's actually paying attention, you can transform these challenges into opportunities. The name of the game here is patience, persistence, and a good system. You can't control other people's personal lives or their schedules, but you can control your approach. Embrace the idea that you're in this for the long haul. Use your AdvNav app to maintain steady, respectful communication, and over time, the seeds you plant will sprout. The right person at the wrong time might become just the right person at the perfect time, all because you stayed organized, consistent, and patient. So take a deep breath, lean into these tools that you have, and get ready to turn these difficulties into stepping stones on your path to a thriving, sustainable business. So let's dig into the good stuff. Solutions. Your AdvNav app isn't just a digital Rolodex. It's a full-blown follow-up machine designed to help you build a real, livable, breathing database of contacts and then communicate with that database over time. If you believe it's usually the right person at the wrong time, then your top priority is staying top of mind until that time shifts in your favor. And guess what? The app's got you covered. First, let's talk about email. I know. Some people say email is old school, but here's the truth. Emails work. Emails work even when you don't. People might not always respond to your texts or pick up the phone, but emails are always there waiting in their inbox. It's like a friendly postcard that arrives without demanding immediate attention. Your app can send trackable emails and it will show you who's opening them, which gives you valuable insight into who's quietly paying attention. Remember, the quiet ones often turn into the hottest prospects later. Now, let's look at the concept of labeling and broadcasting. Imagine you've talked to a bunch of people who are interested in your product, but not right now. They're just not yet leads. Instead of remembering each one individually, which is practically impossible, you can assign them a label. say gold interested or next quarter prospects. Once they're labeled and have opted in and to receive your emails, you can send a broadcast message to all of them at once. Think about the power of that. It's like having your own mini radio station where you can say, hey, I found this amazing new article on the silver market about JP Morgan manipulating silver. The corruption is finally at awareness level. I wanted to give you the heads up. So you can create personalized, scalable communication, no more one-by-one drudgery. And don't underestimate how this can change your business. Having a strategy for consistent follow-up can mean the difference between someone drifting away silently and someone coming back 6 months down the road saying, I'm ready now. Your broadcast emails become gentle reminders that you're still there offering value, and there's a big deal in building trust and credibility. Next, Zoom integration and calendar invites. Let's face it, we're living in a virtual world. Events, webinars, online gatherings are how we connect these days. Instead of juggling multiple platforms, the app lets you send professional, trackable Zoom invites right from the system. You can integrate this with the calendar so that you can say, hey, we're hosting a special Q&A session next Tuesday. They receive a clean, polished invitation with the link readily available. No more frantic searches through old texts or emails. Your prospect clicks once and bam, they're in the event. The easier you make it for them to show up, the more likely they will. Finally, let's talk about tasks. The task feature is like having a professional assistant whispering reminders in your ear. Don't forget to follow up with Sarah next week or check in with John after he watches the webinar. With tasks, you can schedule those gentle nudges in advance so when life gets busy, and it will, you won't drop the ball. You can even push those tasks to your Google or iPhone calendar, seamlessly blending your AdvNav follow-ups into your day-to-day routine. Imagine waking up, checking your phone, and seeing a neat list of who you need to reach out today. No more scrambling through notes or relying on your memory. Memory might fail, but your app won't. Here's the big picture. The app is your strategic command center. You're not just a business owner now, you're a quarterback. Calling the plays, you've got a database, your roster of players, you've got email campaigns and broadcasts, the plays that keep your team engaged and ready. You got Zoom integration, the stadium where you host your big games, and you've got the task feature, your personal schedule coach, ensuring you to never miss a crucial move. All these tools come together to solve the fundamental problems we talked about: the right person, wrong time dilemma, the challenge of building and maintaining a real follow-up system, and the struggle to identify who's warming up behind the scenes. With these solutions, you can stop playing a guessing game and start executing a well thought out strategy. And over time, as you consistently nurture your database, you'll see people who once said not yet stepping forward to say, let's do this. So embrace these tools. They're here for you. Lean into the email system, the broadcast feature, the labels, the Zoom invites, and the task scheduler. And by doing so, you're setting yourself up not just for short-term wins, but for a thriving, sustainable business where your follow-up is effortless. Your communication is clear and your results get exponentially better. So let's make it happen. If you agree, type a 1 in the chat box. So we have a challenge for you. It's time to roll up your sleeves and put it into action. We've talked about strategies, tools, and the long game, but none of it matters if we don't actually get our hands dirty. So here's your challenge for this week. Send a text to 5 people and let them know you'd love to stay in touch with them via email. It's that simple, just 5 people. But don't underestimate how powerful this small step can be. Let me paint you a picture to help this sink in. Imagine you got a friend, Sarah. who started her business around the same time as you. She was always a bit shy about follow-up, worried she'd come across pushy. But after learning about the importance of consistent communication, she decided to give this exact challenge a try. She picked 5 people, some customers, some leads, maybe even a friend who expressed curiosity but never followed through with. She sent them each a brief, friendly text. Hey, I'd love to keep you posted on some great resources and info via email. Would that be okay? Within an hour, 3 people responded positively. One said, absolutely, I've been meaning to learn about what you do. Sarah was thrilled. For those 3, she sent her first email campaign message, and then guess what she did next? She followed up to confirm they received it. Just a simple, did you see the email I sent? Here's the link to opt in so I can send you more helpful content this way. That follow-up wasn't awkward at all. She was simply making sure they got what they agreed to. 2 of them clicked the link and opted in that very same day, and the 3rd one did the following morning. Suddenly, Sarah had 3 people in her labeled email group, meaning she could now send them targeted broadcast messages down the line. A week later, she discovered that one of those people watched the entire video. She linked into a follow-up message. Now she knew exactly who was warming up behind the scenes, all thanks to taking a simple 5-text action. This story might sound small, but these small steps that build your momentum. By reaching out to just 5 people, you're starting the process of turning random contacts into well-curated, engaged audiences. The best part, these are people who have given you permission. No guesswork, no feeling like they're intruding or you're intruding. They're essentially saying, yes, keep me in the loop. Permission marketing is one of the most powerful forms of communication because it ensures you're building a relationship with people who want to hear from you. Also, consider this. If you send 5 texts today, what's stopping you from sending 5 more tomorrow and 5 more the day after? Before you know it, you have dozens of engaged contacts, all neatly organized by labels, all opting in to hear from you. From there, broadcasting emails that speak directly to their interests and needs becomes a breeze. You're laying the foundation for the long game, making future follow-ups easier, more targeted, and far more effective. Think of it like planting seeds in a garden. Each text you send is like dropping a seed into fertile soil. The permission they grant is the water that starts the seed growing. The follow-up email is the sunlight that helps it flourish. Over time, you have a thriving garden of prospects who know you, trust you, and appreciate the value you bring. But it all starts with that first ask. Hey, can I keep in touch with you via email? Don't worry if not everyone says yes, that's normal. What matters is that some will. And those people are going to be far more receptive because you chose to stay connected. They're your right people, and when the timing aligns with what you offer, you'll be ready. So grab your phone, pick those 5 people today, maybe an old friend who showed interest, a previous customer who went quiet, a new lead who's on the fence, anyone who might benefit from staying in the loop. Send that text, ask permission, follow the steps we've outlined. This isn't busy work. It's a strategic move that sets you up for long-term success. You've got this. Let's turn theory into action, 1 text, 1 email at a time. Your future self and your growing network will thank you for it. So as we wrap up today's training, you might be wondering, where do I go from here? We've covered a lot of ground over the past few weeks, from improving follow-up strategies to leveraging the tools in your app to personalizing your digital business card and staying in touch with your contacts more efficiently. It's a lot, right? By now, you might be thinking, okay, I've got a ton of great ideas and tactics, but how do I bring it all together into a consistent, sustainable rhythm for my business? Well, the good news is that's exactly what we're going to tackle in our next training session. We're going to talk about creating a cadence of accountability. What does that mean? Think of it this way. If your business was a piece of music, the strategies and tools that we've shared are the notes. But without a steady beat, a cadence that without a steady cadence, you'll just have random sounds. The next training is all about establishing the steady beat, a routine that helps you stay focused, motivated, and on track. And accountability can mean different things for different people. Maybe it's setting a weekly goal of how many new contacts you want to reach out to. Maybe it's scheduling a monthly check-in with a mentor or upline success coach. Maybe it's joining a small group of peers who challenge each other to stay consistent. Whatever form that takes, accountability is what transforms good intentions into real measurable progress. There's a famous quote by management guru Peter Drucker. What gets measured gets improved. When you have a clear cadence, daily, weekly, or monthly benchmarks, you can create opportunities to measure your activity, assess your results, and make necessary adjustments. No more drifting aimlessly or feeling guilty for not doing enough. Instead, you have a framework that tells you, hey, it's Thursday, time to review my exposures this week, or it's the first of the month. Let me send out that broadcast that I had planned. I've seen countless entrepreneurs who started out excited, devour every training, try every tool, only to stall out because they never built a routine. Picture someone who builds a treadmill, who buys a treadmill, reads all about the proper running form, watches workout videos, and invests in a new running shoes, but never actually sets a time to hop on and run 3 times a week. Without that schedule, without accountability, no results follow. So don't let that happen to you. So in our next session, we're going to explore practical ways to set up your business rhythm. We'll talk about how to avoid overwhelm by breaking big goals into manageable bites, and how to weave these activities into your existing life so it doesn't feel like just another full-time job. We'll even discuss how to celebrate your wins, because yes, recognizing your achievements is an essential part of staying accountable. When you see how far you've come, you're more likely to keep going. We'll also consider accountability partners, someone you trust who can check in with you regularly. It might be a teammate, a mentor, or fellow entrepreneur, someone just knowing that someone will ask, how did your follow-ups go this week? Can be the gentle nudge you need to take action rather than putting things off. The ideal is to create an environment where progress is not just an aspiration, but an expectation. So get ready for the next training where we'll piece it all together and help you establish a cadence of accountability, and invite your team. If you're finding value in these Funnel Fridays, then let's grow it. After all, the most successful people in any field, be it business, sports, or the arts, thrive on routine and consistent effort. They understand that victory doesn't happen by accident. It's earned through steady, intentional actions. So until then, keep using the tools that you've discovered in the app. We're going to go through a demo, keep experimenting with the strategies, start thinking about what kind of accountability structure might work for you. And I'm excited about this next step. And I know that once we bring a steady rhythm into your business, you'll feel more confident, less stressed, and poised for long-term success. So that's next Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So let's go into our live demo. If you liked what you heard so far, go ahead and type a 1 in the chat box. I appreciate you guys. All right, so first I want to share with you about campaigns. Right now we have 2 campaigns, and this is the dashboard of your Advancement Navigator app. If you already have it set up, and if you don't, I will try to make sure that I put the link in the chat box before we go. But in a worst case scenario, this is being live streamed, and the links will be on the YouTube, and as well, I will be posting this in the Telegram AdvNav group. So from the dashboard, there is a banner here that says campaigns. If you click on that, then you're going to see our 2 campaigns currently available. Now, the one we're going to talk about for your prospects is called the Precious Metals campaign. Now, this one is for your team. And they're really, when you click on this one for the prospects, you'll actually see the schedule. And if you click on any of them, it's going to give you detail of what's actually being said. How cool is that? So you can see right away. And as you can notice, we have spaced them out. So we're not inundating anybody with a whole bunch of information. It's just a very subtle sprinkle over time. So that's perfect. And then as people join, what you want to do is unlock the feature of personal broadcasting. And what that takes is 10 active contacts that have opted in. And as you can see here on this demo account, we have 11. So that's going to open it up. And so, we don't want you paying extra for an outside service like Constant Contact. This is a free option here. How cool is that? And if you are new to AdvNav, there's no bait and switch. You can use this free forever. However, we are betting that you're going to see so much value, that you're going to find that your prospects are flipping to yeses, and that you're able to do this more than you would without this app and this tool. And so it's going to pay for itself. And so once you realize the value of it, upgrading to the premium, that's going to unlock all the bells and whistles, give you the whole enchilada, is going to just be a no-brainer. So this one doesn't really have anything in it, because what we're doing is just going to get your new team members in here opted in. So when you have a team event, maybe you have a local home presentation, or maybe you do a monthly team Zoom, you can send it to your people, not only through your social media channels, but as well through email, because they've opted in. So how cool is that? All part of this. So that's the first thing, is the campaigns. And the second thing we want to talk about is events and invitations. So to go to events and invitations, there's two different ways, but the way that we recommend, if you're inviting a person specifically, you're going to want to go down to the contacts and find that person. You can find this by clicking this button here, the one at the bottom left, or you can actually click up here. So there's always more than one way to do it. So let me click the bottom, and let's pretend I want to invite Taylor to something. I'm going to click on Taylor, and this is called his contact card. And let's say I want to invite him to an event. You can see here's a button that says event invite. Just click on it, and then the calendar is going to come up. So today is the 13th. We don't have a live event until the 17th. So if I click on the 17th, then I can see what's going on. And this is where we're going to talk about these Zoom integrations. Why is this different than just sending a Zoom link? Well, check this out. This is what it looks like for you to send it to them. And depending on if you have their email in their profile, this one will come up. So this is email, this is text messaging, and this is a copy paste. There's going to be people that you don't have their phone number or email. They're just a social media contact. That's okay. We don't need it. And so you don't even need to know their last name, although on most social media it says it, but you don't even need to if someone's being incognito. So if I do click like the text messaging, it's going to open it up. It's going to give some sample texting, sample verbiage. It's going to add the person's first name. The sender's first name. Joe Bullion is inviting you to this event. And then this right here is a hot link all the way to here that is unique for this person. So when they click on it, make sure you don't click on it. When they click on it, you're going to be notified that they clicked on it. How cool is that? And you can modify this. If this is too formal, you can change it up, and just make sure you don't change up the link itself. So, and by the way, that is on an iPhone that I'm showing. So if you're on Android, it may look a little different. But here's what I want to show you. If you click the join event, this is what's going to happen when it's their time to click it. If they're in a different time zone, it doesn't matter. It's going to give them a countdown. This is your landing page. So it's going to say the webinar is starting soon. It's going to give a countdown. So even if they get there at the wrong time, it's okay as long as they're not late. And it has your information at the bottom, your contact information. So let's say they did this exactly. They showed up 4 days early. Well, guess what? They're anxious. They want to learn. They could just click learn more and go through a series of over 12 different videos that tell the story of at-cost metals, show them price comparisons and explain our mission, etc. So essentially, you could be sleeping while this is babysitting them. And if they click on the join now, it's going to integrate with the at cost metals join page so that it's going to open it up and they'll be able to sign up right there and then. So you could wake up to having a brand new person and not even know it. That's what I mean by this. I fell in love with Rapid Funnel back in 2017. Advancement Navigator is a white label of Rapid Funnel. So we call it powered by Rapid Funnel. And it is exclusive for your at-cost metals business. So that's important, utilizing events. However, today is Friday. We don't want you to wait till Tuesday to invite someone to do something. So let's back it up and show you how you can immediately send them the resource to one of our videos. Okay, this doesn't want to back up. There we go. Now I went too far. Okay, so now you click on, if you have days that you need to take action now, and never worry about being pushy. It's smart, it's efficient. So let's click send resource, and maybe you're going to send them to, you're going to, invite them to Tuesday because it's a special one, but, maybe you want to send them your business card. All you have to do is go through these and see which one works for you. And let's say you just want to send your business card, which I'm going to click right here just to show you what it looks like. If you are brand spanking new, it comes with 10 pre-programmed buttons, has your information based on what you've chosen to put in your profile. It shows your social media channels again, if you have put those in your profile, and then it has your landing pages. So, someone that's a networker might want to go directly to the comp plan. Let's get to know, what is it? Let's get down to brass tacks. They just want to see the comp plan. They can go straight to it. They can see all these different things. And of course, your join now button. And I just want to touch on the getting permissions because this is super important if you're a brand spanking new. If you didn't know, if you're texting people, not necessarily messaging through, Facebook, Instagram, but if you are texting, mobile providers will not allow you to send a link without seeing a two-way conversation with your prospect. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. If you're talking to your best friend or a family member and you've been talking all day long and all of a sudden you just dump a link in there and say, go check this out, they may let that fly. But in most cases, if they don't see you asking, hey, can I send you something? And that person responding back with a yes, they're going to block it. And the worst part is you're not even going to be the wiser to it. You're not even going to know that they blocked it because from your end, it's going to look like it's sent. So we have designed a whole bunch of scripts that are just generic that you can modify to help you open up that conversation. And this is where I want you to go through and get comfortable with the app. You can preview everything. Everything is editable, and it adds the person's name. Taylor, are you thinking about exploring gold and silver? Let's dive into the world of precious metals together. Interested to know more? As soon as he responds back, well, yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. I got my permission, and now I'm going to go to the next level. Now, if I am a free user, then I'm not going to have access to the secrets page, but I can come down to surveys or peak. And here's my general rule of thumb. If you are working with cold market, if you are wanting to post some surveys on social media, that's how I utilize surveys. I don't typically send surveys to my friends, my mentors, people like that. So I would come down to peak. Now, the peaks are like 3 to 5 minute quick videos. And when they get done with it, it says learn more. And this is where they could advance to go to the next one, which would be the overview. And after the overview, there is a great segment of a documentary that helps them to understand the industry. And so, again, you would look through here and see which one works. Knowing your customer is key. If they are a millennial, you don't need to send them something about retirement. Right here's one for retirement. But if they're over 50 or 60, this might work perfect. So again, you will pick your own that are your favorites in addition to whatever you think that person might like. And remember, you can click play to open it up and watch it just to see which one are your favorites. And once you do that, once you figure out, okay, this person said that they are ready to rock and roll and they are over 50, so I'm going to go ahead and send this one. I'm going to check it. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and open the text message, and it's going to give me my sample text along with my hot, unique, trackable link that as they go through and watch it, it's going to notify me so I know when to follow up. All right. I want you to see all these things because although we have this in order of 1 to 10, it doesn't have to be done in this way. You are your own boss. You know what your person needs. You might immediately come to the follow-up section and go into the kickoff events highlights because you guys were talking about the launch back in October. Whatever makes sense. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is labels and broadcasting. So to do that, we're going to go under the more, and we're going to make sure that your profile first is set up. So under more, you're going to go to settings, and you're going to make sure that you've clicked on all these things. If you wish, first of all, what your address is. Now, you don't have to give more details. If you don't want to reveal your state, even, you don't have to. You don't have to reveal your city, whatever you want. But you can edit that to your heart's content. And then you have a whole bunch of options here. The most important is making sure that your ACM referral code is there, because if this field is empty, then your join button is not going to work. So make sure you edit that. And as you can see, it is just a word. So if you chose a number, put the number in. If you chose a word, put the word in. But this is not a link. You're not going to add the http://// And then put in what your rank is: member, copper, silver, gold, etc. If you have a custom booking link, and if you don't, go set one up. There's free websites like Candlery, I never say that right, Google Calendar, iCal, that you can integrate with this. And so I've set up a calendar, and I do 15-minute installments just in case somebody out there wants to set up a little quick Zoom with me for more information of at-cost metals. I mean, why not allow it? And then add all your social medias if you wish. And the trick to this is, if you don't know how to find your profile link, then just go do a Google search on how to find your TikTok profile link, how to do it. You have a whole bunch of options here. And then under account settings, make sure that your email, phone number is listed. And most importantly, that the time zone that you're in is set right. Because if it's not, then all the events are going to show up incorrectly. So now let's go back to a contact, because I want to show you how to label them. If you start doing this from the get-go, then it's going to pay off in the future. This, again, is the contact card. all the way up here. All right, and as you can see, there is a label. And we have created some of the labels for you, like the eras, baby boomer, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, millennial. Also interested in bullion, interested in buying only, interested in gold, interested in silver, interested in specialty coins, interested in team building, because later you might want to send a specific email about team building tips to a prospect. And so you're going to want that label because you'll be able to pull up everybody under that label. So start doing it and do as much as you want. As you can see here, you can add your own. So I also, put in where you've met them at, which social media, if they're not in real-time friend, in-person friend. Here's one for veterans, military. So again, your circle is going to be different than anyone else. So make your own. Notes is going to be super important. Click on notes and add notes, because especially if you just met someone on your out and about at the grocery store, you're not going to remember that information later. So write whatever you learned about that person. Blonde-haired guy, purple shirt, loves the Raiders, mentioned he buys gold and silver from time to time, is a prepper. Whatever keywords that you put in the notes are going to be searchable. So you could always look up later all the preppers. And as you see here, this person actually filled out a survey. And so all the questions to the survey are here. So you can go, wow, that's really cool. You can read up on it later. And we were talking about, let's come back here. We were also talking about the broadcasting feature, which is something, remember, you have to have 10 people that opt in. So the first thing to do is to reach out to Taylor and ask Taylor, can I stay in touch with you? Remember, your challenge is to do that with 5 people. And then he says, yes, absolutely. And so what you're going to want to do is come here and click on this change button and then choose the precious metals campaign. And one thing I forgot to mention on this is this precious metals campaign has nothing to do with at cost metals. It is general information about precious metals. And so that's the best way to do it, is to help people understand the industry and then come in with a solution that is at cost metals. So all of those emails, there will be at the very bottom, we have a little banner ad that says, we do it for less, that kind of thing. And so once you click on that and you assign it to that person, it's going to generate an email that's going to be sent to them that they have to opt in. And this is where I think it's super important that you act as a helicopter, I don't know what you want to call a helicopter person, and just say, hey, while I'm on the phone with you, I just sent you the email. Can you go ahead and click the verify email button to opt in right now to make sure that there's no issues? And then I'll be able to see it from my end. Let them do it right then. Otherwise, again, it's just going to get covered up by everything else that's going on in the world. So I'm not going to do this because I don't want this to actually do that right now to Taylor, because he wouldn't know what's coming. And the other thing that's important is setting a task. So if you've had lunch with Taylor today and you want to set up something for Sunday, then you can do so. You can type a description here, what it is, whatever, send a text message, send whatever you guys discussed. Maybe you're supposed to send the price comparison to him, but he's on vacation and he's not going to get back until Sunday. So he wants you to send it to him on Sunday. So how cool is this? You can do that because it's going to remind you. And then you just pick your date here. All right. I just want to go through a few more things and then we'll open it up for Q&A. And so, if you're brand spanking new, we recommend that you add yourself as a contact. And so you can do that by clicking here at the very bottom. There is a plus sign and just add your information in here. And then you could send yourself these resources so that you know what your prospect is experiencing. All right, let's see what else is there. All right, that's great. I think I've went through everything I'm supposed to show you in today's demo. So let me go ahead and open it up to any questions that you have about utilizing the AdvNav. One of the things is I'm just going to keep talking. So go ahead and type it in the chat box. But one of the things that I know a lot of people have a challenge with is thinking that this is like, super technical. It's a fun app. It's going to be your lifesaver. Is it user friendly? Absolutely. It is user friendly. Anyone can do this. You can't break it. Click on everything. Invest some time to learn it so that you can do it. And then you're going to start seeing some results. All right, you guys are so easy on me. All right, well, listen, we've got about 36 hours left before the week closes. So remember that At Cost Metals week ends at 11:59 Central Time on Saturday. So now's your moment to put everything that we've covered into action. It's up to you to step up, to reach out and finish the week strong. Keep your eyes on the weekly leaderboard, which is down here at the bottom. And if you swipe right, you'll see more. Let's see if it's going to come up right. Oh, that's the November. Forgive me about that. There is a December one, but let me see. There we go. We have the week 49 leaderboard. I thought we were in week 50, but there's the December leaderboard. Oh, here we go. And this is going to show the top 3 people that are actually utilizing the app this week. So we have Gary, who's done 9 engagements, Liz, 3, Brian, 3, and Jeremy, 3. All of them are tied at number 2. So this shines a spotlight on the top 3 who are making the most of the app. And your name can be there. How? Focus on engagements, and exposure is good. That means you're sending out a resource, but engagement is even better because it means your recipient took action. They watched the video, filled out a form, or responded to a survey. And that's how you'll climb to the top. Because remember, it's all about accountability. This might sound goofy to you to have a leaderboard, but it works. And as we move more into the holiday season, distractions will be everywhere. But think about this. Some people are searching for the perfect gift to give their loved ones. What could be more impactful than gifting them an At Cost Metals membership, guiding them towards building generational wealth? Setting the stage now, even amidst the holiday hustle, will pay off big in 2025 and beyond. So let's finish on a high note. Let's get the screen right, because you've got the tools, you've got the know-how. Now let's go make it happen. So see you next Friday, same time, same place for week number 9 of Funnel Friday.